don't actually go to prison. The system has a way of keeping them somewhere, and once in a while showing them in and out. It is a whole lot of mess. I don't think anything prevents this administration from telling us that, look, this person has come in, he came in on this date, he's in Sawan prison, or he's at the cantonment police, and if anybody goes there, they will find him. I don't think anything stops the government from being clear on that. So where the government intends to hide something where there is no reason to hide it, it only fuels suspicion. And as I sit here, I cannot trust that Sedina Tamaklu is in custody just because somebody tells me he is in custody. I don't trust that.
What would you want to see? Would you want a camera to be put on her in a prison cell? That would be a violation of her privacy.
I'm not saying we should put a camera on her. When Abuga Pele was jailed, we knew where he was. He was in Sawam. When Chachuchi Kata was jailed, we knew where he was. When people go to jail, we know where they were. Nobody put a camera on them. That is not what I'm requesting.
So how can the state prove that she's not in her house and that she's in a detention center? How can the state prove that without violating her rights?
I'm saying that to say that somebody is in Sawam, how does that violate their rights?
So Felix Kwachi said that
was in ICE detention. We knew the exact detention where he was. Okay. It was public knowledge.
Okay. But Felix Kwachi said she was in the hands of prison and police officers. That's not enough for you? That's not satisfying?
Well, the prisons and police officers can be keeping her somewhere else outside of the prison.
In fact, he said because he said that
now,
processes have to be gone through.
Telling us where she is, which prison, which police cells, which facility she's being kept. I've mentioned high-profile individuals who went to jail, and we knew where they were. Nothing happened to them. They came out, they are alive. What is so different about her? Okay. Would they have treated Ken Oforiatta the same way?
Okay. I get you. Let me bring in Andy. Do you have the same doubts that Manasseh has? That she's back, all right. But in fact, there's even a view that it was a U.S. embassy that first made the announcement. Otherwise, the government wouldn't have said it. And then the government made the announcement. Now, where is she?
That's not true. That's not true. Check the time the U.S. Authorities posted and check the time.
I will do so.
Please do.
I will do so. Please.
You see, for me, it's not about whether I believe or doubt. The mere fact that there is a perception among Ghanaians that suggests that we do not trust that Sedinam will be in some. For me, itself is a worry. It's a huge worry, especially where we run a system that has as one of its abiding principles the principles of probity and accountability. I think the issue of Sedinam goes right at the heart of our commitment to those those values. The fact that the people have doubts, for me, is a massive worry, because the people simply do not trust that a government, as in largely being led by her party, will allow her to go to Islam. For me, that's a problem, and I think that it is a collective failure of our system, of our political system, to fail to create a culture that a culture that promotes probity and accountability, and that will guarantee us the rule of law. For me, is a huge worry, and I think that there's a responsibility on government to ensure that they are as transparent as possible. Probably, if we do not believe in them, I think there's a right to information now. But also, it exposes the weaknesses in our institutions. Because we all know that per the system that we operate here, where somebody has been convicted, prisons ought to have control. I'm surprised that prisons hasn't come out with a statement yet. Because ordinary prisons should come out and tell us that, listen, State Name is in control, she is at in Saum or Akusi or so. Or if she's unwell, then because she's unwell, she's still under custody, but she is at 37 or she's here or she's here. Because beyond everything else, there is the biggest responsibility on government, in my opinion, is to ensure that constitutional democracy is entrenched. So that if there's anything that we do, if there's any perception that is allowed to fester, that drives at the heart of the sustainability of this constitutional democracy. And I'm saying that because of the purpose of the constitutional democracy, which I think we all collectively agree that is the best system of governance that can guarantee for us our lives, that can guarantee for us our rights to our liberties, that can guarantee for us our right to pursue our own happiness. And so there's, for me, the biggest obligation of government is to create a system that sustains this. And see, you can't dissociate this issue from the Kens issue. And for me, it brings up a bigger discussion. What is the role that the political parties play in creating this culture that allows for tolerance, but that also enforces probity and accountability? Because my brother Senor brought up the MPP issue. I think it's a fantastic issue, and I think probably we do not understand the MPP. All of us, or probably we do not pay attention to certain things they said. You recall that in 2008, when my own boss, Alan Chamantin, left the MPP, and steps were taken to bring him back. BJ Darucha, who is one of the biggest names in the history of the MPP, and who represents a perception about the values of the MPP, brought up a response. And in that response, he advised the MPP that don't accept Alan Chamantin back. Why? Because you should not accept Alan Chamantin back, because if Alan Chamantin is asked to choose between Ghana and the MPP, you choose Ghana. And for me, that statement was a worry. It's a big worry, because you have a party who feels that their fidelity, their faithfulness, their loyalty to the party as against Ghana. And that, for me, that is something I discovered later, and that's one of the biggest reasons why it was easy for us to leave. Because the reason why you ought to do politics ought to be Ghana. Ghana first. And the party is just a means through which you can advance the Ghana agenda. And the essence of the party is to bring together people, like-minded people who have certain values. Because see, you want to create a pluralistic system. You want to create a system where people are free to have their own views. You understand? And that's the essence of political parties. That you create a body that brings together like-minded people to advance a Ghana agenda that aligns to their views. You understand? But immediately, you place the party's interest ahead of your nation's interest. And when I talk about nation's interest, the nation's interest in its entirety, that includes the values of the nation. Because the values of the party ought to align to the values of the nation. You understand? So where you have a major political party showing a spirit or showing a character that is adverse to the character of the country, then is a problem. And that, for me, that has been one of the biggest disappointments in the communication members of the MPP have advanced in this Ken Ofrates issue. Because you cannot, you should have space for a commissioner that says that, oh, if I'm Ken, I won't come. And we've heard that from very senior members of the MPP. Because not once has anybody said that Ken is guilty. Because one of the values of this country is that we believe that everybody is perceived or assumed or presumed to be innocent until proven so. But at the heart of the principle of probity and accountability is a high regard or a high value for your personal integrity. So when you have one of the major political parties say that, or senior members of that party say that it won't come, then for me it's a worry. But having said that, the same I'm saying that, in my opinion, in the Sednam case, there's a responsibility on the state to advance actions in how they handle this. That will not undermine our confidence in this system. Okay. In the same way, I believe there's also a responsibility on the state in Ken's case, because they have avenues in which to advance probity and accountability. People have spoken about what's called trying in absentia, and we are saying that the heading there is about the notice. But the criminal code, section 63, 64, 65, makes or creates avenues where you can serve somebody where the person is available. One, if there's any adult, somebody more 18 years and above in that person's house, you can serve that person, and the accused person will be presumed or deemed to have been served. If that 18-year-old person isn't there, you can paste the summons, the criminal summons.
Challenge here is with outside the jury.
No, what I'm saying is that the 63, 64, 65 is available where the person can be served, and that means whether the person is outside, the person is in Ghana, we can find him. Unlike civil where you go and take social service, this one the criminal code is saying that if you get anybody above 18 years in the person's house, no last place of abode, serve the person. If that opportunity is also not available, they are saying that under 65,
substituted service.
Not substituted service, whatever you have to go to court. The summons.
Just post it on the wall.
On the wall, somewhere that people can see, and the person will be presumed to be served.
At the data bank head office.
Or his house. You understand? So, listen, I'll call on the OSP, because I think it's the OSP who is handling this case. The AG is just handling the extradition. Yeah. But it's the OSP that is handling the OSP. Take advantage of 63, 64, 65. Show real commitment to this battle against corruption, because in Ghana the issue of corruption is not just goes even beyond money being lost, but it goes to the lives of the people. Because you have a country whereas the WHO is saying that, listen, for any normal country you must have 5 emergency beds for 1,000. In Ghana our ratio is hovering around 0.5, 0.7. We have a situation where in Ghana children can't have proper schools to go. We have a situation where there's a huge debate about the Afari hospital issue. You understand? And we are having all issues, and yet we lose so much money to corruption. So let's consider the lives of people, and let's fight corruption, because in this country corruption has become endemic.
Okay, Senor, I'm coming to you, but before then, Honorable Bediakun, you threw a challenge about the communication of Sedina's return to Ghana, and I said a point that it said that the government was going to conceal it until the U.S. Embassy made the announcement. You asked me to confirm the time. So at 11:16 on 9th June 2026, the U.S. Embassy posted that Justice Has No Borders, Sedina has been brought home. 11:16 a.m. Now 2 hours later, Felix Kwachio Fosu at 1:01 p.m. on 9th June also posted this. So it took the U.S. Embassy to first make the announcement to us before the chief government spokesperson made the announcement to us. I just want you to know that. Senor, you may come in, please. On Sedina.
On Sedina, it is an unfortunate story. It is the same as the Kenoforiata matter. I talked about Sedina as a friend, all right, and it's difficult, and a lot of her friends, a number of us told her, look, you have to come. No matter how suspicious you are about the government, you must come and account for your stewardship. It's possible that if she was here, her case would have not ended up the way it ended. She was not the only one who was being held to account. If the term persecution was favorable to this, when they're in opposition, they use persecution. What's persecution? Come and account for your stewardship, you say persecution. You understand? Opuni went through it. Did he die? Some were found guilty. They went to jail. They are out. All right? TTV, is it TTV or NCA? And then all right, it was a very difficult thing for his family. All right? It's even unfortunate that we even have mentioned it, because they will all prefer that their matter is quietly done. So I apologize for that.
The capital banks.
You know, yeah. But people, those things set precedences for better governance. I remember Barry do so well. One of my favorite politicians of all time. Barry came to my room when I was a student politician. And then he says, he comes to say, and we had some nice ideas. He said, have you heard about causing financial loss to the state? You know, it's Kufuor who made that thing popular. Yeah. What that particular thing did was that it started shaping the thinking of his own appointees. Yeah. That one day, somebody will come and ask you, causing financial loss. So make sure you tick all the boxes properly. What do these presidents do? They improve governance, they improve accountability, they improve the delivery of public service to the people. So you should have faced it. She didn't. All right? It's taking us time. Now she has to face it. She has to go through a legal process if she has to contest it. All right? So there's a need for governance not just to be delivered, but it must be seen, manifestly seen to be effectively being delivered. So if it's accountability and Sedina is here, and there are doubts as to where she is, the government should not be laissez-faire with this. They must take every step to prove or win the confidence of the people that accountability is being served. It doesn't mean that she will be in jail forever. We have Capital Bank and Kogo. They are out for whatever reason. You can argue with, but accountability was brought into question. It was brought into enforcement. In this instance, if people are doubting, and the likes of my brother Manasseh, who does investigative journalism, has reason to believe that there's selective justice in this matter, these kinds of matter, the government must purge itself of that perception.
Okay.
It must purge itself because the governance process must be manifestly seen to be delivered. And Bernard, this one is not an argument. These are things that you, as a party, you haven't reached there, but I'm just giving you advance warning. Because you are the party who led the constitution that we have, not as a party, but your old life before becoming a political party. PNDC. Probity and what?
Accountability.
My guy.
And social justice.
Please, you people cannot talk about. So look, people have doubts. I want to believe the state, but just saying it is not enough. Just saying where the person is should not be difficult. The problem when you start, my question now is: are you scared that when you say us where it is, the people in those prisons will start doing the concern and then the filler will spread that it's a lie? You understand? That's not what you want to sell. Be open and transparent about this process. If for any legitimate reason she's not well and you want to hold her in a particular facility, communicate it very clearly. Let everybody know what is going on, because how you deal with this will set the tone for accountability and the conduct of public officers in governance today and in governance tomorrow.
Okay.
We cannot cry foul on Ken Oforiatta or want to sing poetry on Ken Oforiatta, and then when it comes to Sedina, we want to sing or speak prose. It doesn't work. We must be consistent with it, and I think that the path is obvious.
Okay. Let me speak to Richard. Richard, your party members in Parliament are saying the government should communicate on Sedina Tamaklo. It is enough that she is in town. Is it the case that politicians, when they are convicted, don't...
The American government could post about Sedina.
Yes.
About what? They say, what never knows what boundaries. Can you quote it?
It says justice no borders. In fact, so it says justice has no borders. The United States has extradited Sedina Tamaklo Ationu to Ghana following her conviction on 70+ corruption-related charges, including embezzling more than $6 million equivalent in Ghanaian taxpayer funds. These are strong U.S.-Ghana law enforcement partnership in action, demonstrating a shared commitment to accountability and the first extradition from the United States to Ghana since 2009.
I'm a lover of America. It's my other country. All my siblings.
Hello. I'll come to you.
Which way I'm coming. The American government must also be seen to be consistent. That consistency is very, very important. If this is what you are going to see in the Sedina matter, what are your actions in the Ken Oforiatta matter? Today we are told that the service process has been initiated through the American government.
Yes.
They must be seen to really bring that to proper effect.
Okay.
So there's consistency in their conduct.
All right. Richard,
yes.
Why do you want to? Is it the case that in the past when your people were convicted, you don't send them to jail? That's why you think that Sedina is not in jail?
Well, do you know where Sedina is?
I don't know.
It's not as... Yeah, I don't know. You don't know, but shouldn't we know? We should know, right? It's a matter of course that we should know.
Catch anybody inside.
So let me just address Senor briefly. Senor, you are doing a yeoman's job. This government, for me, appears very incompetent if it cannot use the laws to bring anybody it feels that has offended the state. For me, it's incompetent, pure incompetence. What you are doing this morning, probably a brave attempt, but that is not what a state should be doing. The United States government has no responsibility to us in terms of our prosecution of corruption in our country. I think that ought to be made clear. Now, what situation we have?
The service that has to be done on Ken Ofori-Atta currently can only be done through the U.S. government. So what are you talking about?
So
but then why do you have an extradition treaty?
Don't you?
Extradition treaty places an obligation on them.
Ken's lawyers, Senor, you know, Sedinam Tamaklo, when her the trial in absentia started, she was served through her lawyers.
No, she was served in person. She was here. She sought leave to go for some health matter, and she didn't come back. That's what they say.
Procedure.
In Ken's instance, the process hasn't started.
Genuinely.
He has not been served,
Okay.
and the constitution requires that he is served in person.
So allow me.
So you leave him. Let him take his time.
Allow me.
Yes.
So you see, the Ken's lawyers have express power of attorney, and it is not private. It's not hidden. It is open, and everybody knows. So you can serve him through his lawyers.
No, but the power of attorney has to be issued, and we have to know that he has said that the lawyers can receive those processes on his behalf.
Well, I'm not sure the lawyers have refuted any such thing. They have been dealing with the state all this while. They have been dealing with the state on his behalf. They have.
Yes, upon instructions. If he hasn't instructed that they should receive processes of that nature, the person who is charged is the person who has to be charged. You can't charge the lawyer on the behalf of the person. I'm not sure it works like that, but you proceed, yeah.
Yes, so what I'm saying is that it's incompetent for the state to appear helpless at this stage, and then Senor is the one appealing to emotion, to conscience, to religion, to everything, to have somebody be brought when there's the law. When manifestly, Sedinam Tamaklo was brought to this country via the law. So the option is there. Instead of trying to dramatize this and act helpless, the government should focus on what works.
Okay.
That's why we voted for them.
Very well.
If the Mahama administration, having won this election, cannot do this simple thing, it is completely incompetent.
Very well.
Now, let me come to the point of my brother Andrew. He made a point, and I totally disagree with you. Andrew, you know I love you, but this point you made is completely below the belt and very unnecessary. You cannot refer to the MPP as a party that promotes partisanship ahead of patriotism or nation love for country.
He was one of your members until recently.
But I'm saying that is even more the reason why he can't do that.
Because he knows your party more.
If you love the nation more than the party, you call.
Let me hear Richard, please. Richard, please go ahead.
So you see, so Andy, I beg you, that one don't say it again because it is wrong. It is wrong.
He's not your party. You can't give him instructions. He's left your party.
Yeah. No problem. You see, but the fact that he left the party doesn't mean that he wasn't in it. And if he's in it and he says that was what he was doing, then maybe that's the reason why he left.
Okay.
Those of us in the party, that's not what we do. That's not what we believe in. So the point I am making here is that this Ken issue is much ado about nothing. Okay. The state has all the cards to play. The state has all the cards to play. Ken is not running away. He's not a fugitive from justice. Senor is sitting there. Ask him. When I had the accident and I was laying in the hospital, he called me. We talked. He saw that I was completely incapacitated, incapable of doing anything, even if somebody came there and my valued treasure was sitting next to me and the person was taking it, there was nothing I can do. I first of all must regain my health. And he's there, he will testify. So Ken is in a situation where he must get life.
Okay.
He is fighting for his life. Whether you believe it or not, I am telling you, Senor, when you were talking to me, a lot of people thought that I was well. A lot of people didn't know what extreme situation I was in. We can sit here and make assumptions.
I can confirm his situation. And Richard is one of the people who has really served his party. I hope his party people really appreciate it. He's a true patriot.
Okay.
True.
Thank you.
So Ken is in a difficult.
Richard, wrap up for me, please. Wrap up for me.
This country, the President Mahama's administration has all the cards. If he wants to bring Ken to this country,
they can
do it.
Okay.
Let them do it,
Very well.
and so that we can get to the issues and stop this political persecution and the dirtying of MPP's name as though MPP has committed a crime. MPP has not committed a crime. Ken, who they said has committed a crime, they are looking for, they have not shown any evidence that he has committed those crimes. And under our laws, they must go through the arduous process of proving that he has committed. Assassinating people's character, besmirching people's name, and let's get to governance. Umaru, today we should be talking about this government and the jobless growth that they are talking about. How is it that young people are finishing school and not getting jobs? That should be the subject matter for conversation.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Honorable Bediako, I'm giving you 3 minutes on setting.
When it gets to my turn, then you give me...
Because it is you who challenge me. Others don't challenge me.
He spoke more than 3 minutes. So why?
But this matter is squarely in your own party principle. So it is simple for you to answer.
Yeah, so if I
in 3 seconds, you answer.
No, because you see...
No, forget what he said.
No, I'll forget it. I don't know why... Please, allow me. I don't know why Richard is still defending this. You came to tell us that your leader said nobody should run away. The man has run away. Call him out and you are not able to. And you're shamelessly doing this. Why are you doing this? The man has not run away. He has. I mean, you said you will not run. You came to on PMS. You said Nanadu said nobody should run. The man, you said we will be here. Where is Kanu Furiata? You should be telling us.
But Richie,
so please stop this. You said it. It's not any other person but you. You said on PMS Press. Where is Kedu Furiata? Tell us. Go and report him to Nanado that he has disobeyed his directive.
Now where is
Now you see, Sedina Tamaklo is in custody, lawful custody.
Where?
No, you see, if you ask me where,
what is
so allow me. The where is not within. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
And it is not for me to tell you. Me, I'm surprised at this. Umar, you are here. You can walk straight to the prison. It's just a few.
That is why it is simple for government to just tell us.
No. It's not the job. You mentioned ICE. Was it Manasseh? Was ICE communicated by the communication secretary of the it's supposed to be the prison service. Whoever is the government is saying that I've done my part. The U.S. authorities spoke to me and said that they were bringing the lady to me or to us. We've received her, handed over to those who are supposed to take care of her. We are done. So if you are asking which specific place she's been kept, where has the authorities? Their head office is there. You know who the director prison is?
Is the wife of the chief justice.
So God, who has been there, she didn't just come to prison service after the administration.
No, you asked me, so
go and find out that the government says that they've taken custody of this woman and have brought her to you. Where is she? Okay. That is all you should do. But to go back to fellas parties.
But I've seen this on CNN plenty. When the government people are talking about, they talk about where the person is being
done.
You
see, it is when they take you to the court.
They told us what they did with the body.
So
you can do this one.
No,
it's
you
not
see,
hard.
Let me even take you to the courtroom. It's not for nothing that when a court convicts and sentences, usually they don't mention which prison they are taken into.
But the court does not. No, that's not correct.
The court
hasn't got locus in determining which type of prison
I am saying that.
Prison you are going
but the locus is on government.
No, of course.
Is this an exceptional case? No. You see,
we did it.
No, but it wasn't the government that communicated. You see, we are not being fair. Was it the government that communicated where Atubiga was going? So why don't we place the question at the doorstep of which the entity, the prison service?
But the prisons service.
They haven't been there. Have you been? No, it's part of government.
I'm not saying party. I agree with you. That's not party. No, I agree with you. It's not NDC matter.
Ask them. So, but this is how they've made it look like.
We
are supposed to take custody of the woman.
Hold on.
Do you think the government should talk to the people and let them know?
They have. Ms. Kwache Honorable has been on it. She says that he has refuted the claim that the woman is under house arrest. But he said it's not true.
Correct.
The woman is with the prison service. Media. Where has the prison service?
He doesn't know.
He may not know. Because it doesn't determine which facility.
Yeah, but you can collect that
Every
information,
day
educate
people get
people.
sentenced and they go to jail.
And
Nobody-
the government doesn't communicate
Good.
with specific.
But this
place they are
particular
taking
one, the minister in charge of government
Yeah.
communication took pains to go to social media to
Yeah.
announce that
That-
this person is back and is going to
Because the U.S. authorities
Yes.
spoke to us
Yeah.
and that they were bringing her.
Yeah, but
At
it
that
tells-
stage,
it tells-
no,
so it
it
tells
didn't
you-
know. Because at that stage,
No,
it
no,
wasn't
I'm
the
making a
prison
point.
service who would have taken
let me
custody. It's the
land-
government.
let me
Government,
land-
Government is
After
who?
we are done,
Government is
we
who?
give
If
we
this
give
is
her
only
to.
will it be
Honorable
BNI?
Yes.
I'm
or-
saying that this is
or
a
the
special
presidency.
case. This is
How is it special?
This matter is
Go
a
and
public
read. You
interest.
are upcoming lawyer. Go and read the case of
You have to refer to me to pocket lawyer.
yes, this the Apple Justice Apple on this that cocaine case was the
MV
MV
Benjamin.
Benjamin. Go and read it. He said the fact that a particular case attracts national doesn't mean we change the rules.
Yeah, but
It is the same.
But I'm not asking the court.
this.
I'm asking the government
And
to
what-
make that.
how is it
announcement.
special?
Because this person.
Every day people are in prison. Do we tell the
But people-
court that
but
everybody?
we also
Because
don't
there is
But
an
this one,
announce.
you see,
How is it the
the
same?
once you made the first announcement, we expect you to
That
make
the
the rest
U.S.
of them.
authorities
Bernard,
said they are extraditing
Bernard,
the
I told
woman.
you,
We've taken
Bernard.
custody of her. We've given her
So
to the
Ghanaians are-
authorities.
so
You know
Ghanaians
the
are-
authorities. Go and find
So
out.
Ghanaians
If the
are-
authorities say we won't tell you, you come and
Bernard,
sit here and
there
say
are a lot
it.
of cases that
Do you
Attorney
know-
General.
So you know, but you won't tell us.
Did I say that? Me, I don't know.
No, not you. I mean,
Bernard,
I don't
he's
know.
a good guy,
Yeah,
he's a
me, I
good
don't
guy.
know where she is. But I know she is in the custody of the prison.
But
No, you-
Which
you-
facility,
you
I
agree
don't know.
that it's a matter of public interest, and it is good. It is good for government.
You may make the
purchase
argument.
I'm just asking
You
you.
may
a
make
person,
the
because
argument.
based on you guys.
No, but you may make the
philosophy of
argument. But
NDC.
let's also stop. Let's allow institutions. What stops Umaru?
I'm not
From
listen,
walking
no.
straight to the
There's-
prison
there
service
was-
and then asking that where is
Thank
it
you.
now?
Thank you. Let me hear from Mr. Senator.
So you take it up, eh? Next week you tell us what you should tell us.
Honorable Senator, Mr. Senator, do we need to know in this matter, because it's okay? I'm not even sure, was she convicted of corruption-related matters, or it was stealing, which then may not necessarily be corruption. So I'm trying to look at your interest in this matter. Does the government owe us an explanation on what's happening with Sedina, considering that she's a member of the party in government, and there's suspicion by people that she is possibly enjoying tea somewhere, and we think that she's in jail?
I think, again, we are still talking about values here. And it's unfortunate. It looks like a lot of the discussion so far are just showing us to be a society that is losing values.
Everything has to be legalized.
Yes, and we have to argue before. This for me is a storm in a teacup. Ordinarily, the state, whichever unit of the state that has custody of this person, should provide that information.
Absolutely.
This information should be out there. Even when I listen to a minority, I'm thinking, but put that question.
We've told them.
Put the question out. Don't start calling press conferences and allow us to spend our energies over this.
I don't think it's wrong for them to also do that. It's an option to bring
I agree.
governance pressure to the state. It's okay.
Well, I agree.
But asking the question is fine. Why is it not okay?
I agree,
You
but
should say it freely. They don't mean that
Senor,
people
allow me
don't
to
know why
finish. Senor, allow me to
get the
finish.
information.
This would have been fine if this was just a one-day thing.
I understand.
But this has been going on for about 3-4 weeks. That is the point.
Senor,
Exactly. After the first week where government didn't give the information, put the question. Now we spent like 1 month on the same issue. Why?
Politics. Nothing.
Come on.
Okay.
Put the question. Oh, we have RTI, Act 959. In any case, all of us citizens under Article 41, B, we are to defend and uphold the Constitution and the law.
Yeah.
So it is right for us to ask the question and say, if she was actually convicted and she's brought in the country, is she actually
In prison.
or not? It's a legitimate request of the ordinary citizen. So I think the state should be acting. If the prisons have custody of her, the PRO or whoever it is should come and speak to it.
But the government is saying they have. So just
Yes,
ask them.
so let's get the prisons to speak to
That's
it.
all we
I
can
think
do.
that this particular issue should not
3
take
weeks
us.
back,
Let's find other issues to talk about.
Okay, this is a big issue on Channel One Television on the 97.3 system. We are moving from one Ken to another, Ken Ohini Ejepong. He has been spitting fire. I want to just see a video of what he said on Afari Hospital.
I was the chairman for Defense and Interior. This hospital NDC, it was started by President Kufuor, the locations and all those things. NDC came to start it whenever. When we came, I'm an MPP, but I have to tell you the truth. We're talking about Ghana and nobody. We didn't do anything. Read my lips. I'm telling you the gospel truth. I was the chairman for Defense and Interior. When we decided to go and inspect Afari, they stopped us. We didn't go. So I heard somebody talking 15 months. Has Afari Hospital been there for 15 months? We were there for 8 years. You didn't do it. Don't blink your eye. You see, we are not doing politics. I'm speaking the truth. This is Ghana. Stop that. We will criticize NDC, we will criticize MPP. That's the only way to go. I was chairman. NDC started this. Why didn't you complete it? You were there for 8 years, you didn't complete it. When somebody comes for 15 months, then you have a problem. Please, give me a break. Ghana, we should love our nation and stop playing politics with everything and do the right thing for the country. And that is what I'm doing. You see, when I mentioned MPP, he was blinking his eye. Why do you want me to criticize NDC and leave MPP? When I know that both parties, they didn't do the right thing for the country. I will end here.
So that's Kennedy Japon's birthday gift to the New Patriotic Party on his birthday. But that's not all. He went on Net 2 and said even worse things against his own party. Richard Ahiagba is Director of Communications of the NPP. Richard, is it time to sack Ken from the party, or you tolerate him because you used him in the past against your opponents? And you may need him.
Omar, the day you stop being mischievous, I would walk from my house to Channel One TV.
I take serious exception to it, but I've forgiven you as my brother, so you continue.
You're being mischievous. I mean, the question you raised that we use Ken. We didn't use Ken.
Oh, you used him. Oh, you used him. You started using him on Woyome. He went to Manchagbona at a rally ground. I was there, and he said the things about Woyome. You put this song about it against the NDC, and you finished NDC. And then I remember hold on, since you asked me, I remember when he was arrested and charged with treason felony. He held Accra down because you people were supporting him. It was at the Cocoa Affairs Court at the time, many years ago, around the Tudu area. So you used him properly to prosecute your opponents. Now he's turned the gun on yourselves. In fact, I spoke to Dr. Brian Champon on Eyewitness News yesterday.
Would you say that?
No, let me land. You've asked me. I spoke to Dr. Brian Champon yesterday on Eyewitness News. And he said Ken is a gun that in the past has favored you. And the Ken that we all know is a gun that should be used to point to your opponents. Now he has turned it on yourselves. So how are you going to deal with him?
Okay, so essentially, if that analogy is to hold, then it means that I am also a gun. Honorable Brian Champon is also a gun. And all of us members of the New Patriotic Party, members of the NDC, are instruments that the party uses to promote its ideas and policies. And so it cannot be that one person is used in a sense of the word derogatory to achieve a certain objective.
Is Ken a problem for your party?
Negative way. So it is not.
Is Ken a problem
Ken
for your
is not a problem for our party. But first of all, I will answer. No, Ken is not. But I'll answer your question. First of all, the Afari matter.
Okay. the
Afari matter. Honorable Ken, he was not the Defense and Interior Committee chair in the 7th Parliament. I think he wasn't. So in the 8th Parliament he became. And so our government had 7th and 8th Parliament. And so if he was a defense committee chair in the 8th Parliament, and then maybe if he's speaking, he need to make reference to when he was so that people know. So maybe work was done before he became chair. He didn't avert his mind to it. But it is not true. What he said, it's not true. With all respect to him, I know he's a passionate person. He speaks it as it is. But this time, he didn't have the fact, but he went on to speak as though he has the fact. That's the problem. Okay? That's a problem. The fact matters. When MPP came to office in 2017, the hospital is not what it is today that people have gone to see. It was at the completion stage of 40 to 46%. That was when the NDC left it. There are pictures and evidence to show that when we came to government, how it was. So that one is a fact that we have to put out there. We went on and added about 52% worth of work to it. And what is left for that hospital to be handed over to the government of Ghana is about 2%, which 2% is estimated to cost about $500,000. That's where we are. So when Honorable Kenneth Japon, in his characteristic manner, speaks bluntly about Ghana in pursuit of whatever, it is okay, but he didn't have the fact. You can speak without a fact boldly, bluntly, and forcefully, which is what he did. And so for me, I don't have an issue.
Did he engage in anti-party behavior by doing what he did, which has ruined the image of your party?
I'll get to that. So the fact of it is that what he said is not true. The MPP did work. And what we are calling for is the completion of the 2%. And even for us, it's not politics. It's about the health of the people. If we have just about 500,000 to finish a hospital the size of 500 beds, to solve a problem in Ashanti region, which came about because the hospital says they had no bed and 10 people away. That cannot be politics. It cannot be turned into political football. So what he said was inaccurate, and that has to be set straight. Now, on the matter of whether his behavior is anti-party or not, we have a constitution. And the constitution in Article 3 sets a clear standard for all members, that as a member, your actions and inactions must promote and defend the good name of the party. It's a responsibility I have. It's a responsibility Ken has. And in the conduct that is put up in this matter is a conduct that is tantamount to not defending the good name of the party. As to whether he is liable or should be punished, that one, it is for disciplinary committee to determine. But I can tell you in confirming your claim that that is an anti-party behavior, okay, that he is put up. And I think that
what's the punishment for
in ways,
what's the punishment for anti-party behavior in your constitution?
Well, there's no summary, punishment. I can tell you, it has to be, examined by the disciplinary committee. And they will make a determination. I cannot make a determination.
No, but based on what you've heard and seen, he engaged in anti-party behavior.
Of course, I mean.
But you are saying that your constitution is not blank on if you engage in anti-party behavior. This is what should happen to you, whether it should be expelled, suspended, or fined. You don't have that.
But we run a country of laws. It's a rule of law situation. So even if the constitution says so, it can be presumed.
No, I'm talking about if he's heard. I'm just saying if he's heard. I mean, for instance, the crime of stealing, we have a number of years that you can serve. It doesn't mean that you're a thief yet. But if you are determined, the court determines that you're a thief, this is how many years you spent in jail. So do you have that punishment prescribed that if someone engages in anti-party behavior, they are suspended for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or sacked?
It could include that all the way to removal or expulsion from the party.
Okay, but you don't have it specifically to outline for me.
It includes so punishments. It depends on the circumstances, but then it can include anything up to expulsion from the party. I don't want to just issue anything to say that one or A or B is the possible punishment. This is a direct question to you. Are you afraid of Kenneth Japon? Personally?
Yes.
No.
Okay, good.
I'm not. Personally, I'm not. I mean, and it's not even, it shouldn't have to come to whether I'm afraid or not. We all are members of the party. Ken, I like him as an individual, but I have not done anything. In fact, I can tell you, I have not under any circumstance.
So in June, July 2027, when he start mentioning names, your name will not be part. You are sure?
Absolutely. Well, let me just make the point. I have not, under any circumstance, whether for work or for personal engagement, taken 1 cedi from Ken. I don't owe him anything. He doesn't owe me anything. We are members of the same party. I have not taken 1 cedi from Ken, either for my work or for personal support or anything.
Okay.
So the question should not even come down to whether one is afraid of him or not. Okay. We are members of a party. We are guided by rules. I do my best to work within the frame of the law of our constitution, of our party. He has the burden to do so if he wants to continue to be a member of the party. That conduct for me, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, because immediately after I wrote something to give him the benefit of that perhaps he didn't have the information. But then he came back to double down and say things that he will spill this, he will spill that. Then it means that he knew what he did intentionally miscommunicated, because the facts are there.
And he's continuing. So now you think it's deliberate. Okay. I'll come back to you.
That's what I think, because initially, let me just conclude. Initially, when he said it, I thought that it's possible that he would have said that without the benefit of the facts. But when he comes back again to double down and say an issue threat, then it means that he has taken a path that is intentional and that ought not to be countenanced. And I think that I've heard some people have brought petition against him. If I did that and people brought petition, I'll subject myself to it. And if he has done that, I don't think that he should be above the law. Let the process unfold, and let's have some discipline in the New Patriotic Party.
Thank you, Richard. I'll come back to you. Please hang around. Manasseh Azuri is an investigative journalist. Azuri, apart from the political side of things that Ken went on, you have information around the operationalization or non-operationalization of the Afari Hospital. What do you know that you can share with us? Manasseh, you're muted. You're muted, so unmute yourself. See, you're from Bongo, you don't know how to use ICT.
Well, even as Achari people know how to use it, how much more Bongo
It's okay,
people?
it's okay. You proceed.
Yes. So the truth of the matter is that this project has delayed, and a number of factors have caused the delay. We cannot blame one party, but if anybody says the MPP did nothing, I think that is not true.
Okay.
Especially if the person says they are speaking the truth. This project initially had a lot of setbacks, and part of it was even where to site it. It was initially to go 2009, they said they should take it to Tamale. Then in 2010, they moved it to the 37 military hospital. Then in 2013, it finally was decided that it should be at Afari in Kumasi, in Ashanti region. And I also want to state that this issue that when the MPP was leaving, the project was 98% complete and it was left with only 2% complete. I don't think that is accurate. I have with me here a document that is the progress report on the 500-bed military hospital at Afari near Kumasi. And this report, which is the latest, was done in April 2025. The exact date is April 4, 2025, and it is prepared by the consultants CAAD and CAD Consult Limited and MOO Project Implementation Unit. And this is a 22-page report signed by Dr. Cyprian Nyonu, and the facts here don't support the 98% completion. They said the civil works are 97% complete. Civil works are like the building.
Mm-hmm. The physical building.
Yes. Then architectural works, 80% complete. Biomedical equipment installation is 5% complete. And I have spoken to people who know this better than I. And what they have said is that if you are building a hospital, the structure alone doesn't mean much. As the place is, we can equally turn it into a school. So it is the installation of this equipment that will make it a hospital. So this report says overall project completion 60%. And this was after the MPP left. So it is not true that they finished and it was up to 98% complete, and then they were just left with only 2%. The NDC came and they are not doing things right. Now, there is the contractor, from what I know, appears to be holding the nation to ransom. And this is how it started. The project was supposed to be at a cost of $180 million. But because of these delays and others, this contractor at a point raised a bill of $30 million and said these movement and the changes and the delays have incurred an additional cost. They managed to negotiate this to $19 million. But the original contract, the $180 million, was signed and approved by Parliament. And so if there was to be additional payment, it had to go back to Parliament. This contract goes to Parliament, and Parliament says that, look, we cannot approve this $90 million until there's a value for money. And the value for money audit was done, and I'm told the figure, I will get the exact figures, but it came drastically to about $6 million or so. But before the Parliament the consultants completed the value for money audit, the Finance Ministry had gone ahead to start paying this contractor the $90 million. So they paid $9 million, and then later on, I think that was under Ken Ofori-Atta, and when Amin took over, I'm told they paid about $3.5 million or so. And this contractor claims they still owed $6.5 million. But in a letter Amin Anta wrote somewhere in November 2024, he said, well, there was an agreement that after the $3.5 million, that was going to be all. So we don't owe you any additional amount. And so this controversy has caused this delay.
Okay.
And as we stand, the contractor keeps making demands. And even before that letter that went to Amin Anta, the contractor served notice of additional charges based on further delays. And that, I'm told, amounted to $78 million. So the MPP, before leaving office, this contractor was demanding $6.5 million and had served notice that I'm bringing a second charge. And that charge came when NDC was in office. That's $78 million. We haven't even spoken about that. So when you hear about some 80-something million, this is how much, or this is how it came about. The additional, it's not the initial contract sum. And both parties know the history of these delays and the additional demands, and how the contractor is basing these additional demands to say, well, if you don't do this, I'm not going to complete, and a whole lot of issues. So if anybody goes out to say that MPP did nothing, it is not true. If anybody says the work was 98% complete before MPP left, that is not true. This report I've quoted
very well
shows that 60% complete. And above all, there are outstanding issues. The contractor has been making demands on the MPP administration and additional demands when NDC came. And before NDC came, he has served notice of these additional demands. So the MPs who are going out to make the noise, they know these facts.
Okay.
They are not hidden.
Okay. Thank you, Manasseh. So that's a very comprehensive background that has just been given to us. Manasseh is an investigative journalist, has information around this hospital. So there are two matters that I want you to deal with when you come to your submission, and we are closing the show anyway. So the behavior of Ken Ofori-Atta against his own party, and then the politics around the Afari Hospital.
Ken Ofori-Atta has come again.
Ken Ejapong.
We need him. Ken Ofori-Atta, we need him. That's why he's...
So let me start with you, Council, and then I'll go around the table. Can we all do 3 minutes each, please?
Well, I think, I said here last year around April, May, that in my opinion, the MPP has become reprobate.
Have become what?
Reprobate.
Right. Break it down.
So reprobate is simply morally unprincipled. When we were discussing...
Approbate and reprobate.
No, so reprobate. And you see reprobate used in Romans 1. When in Romans 1, Paul was...
You're reading Bible?
I'm a
But it's not well white, we are safe.
I'm a born again Christian. I read my book at home.
It's my law.
Okay. where Paul discussed about nature itself being evidence of why there's God, and then spoke about how because of human beings' moral wickedness, it reaches a point where God gives you up to a reprobate mind. So when I say, so MPP in my opinion are not reprobate, simply they are morally unprincipled. Because this whole Afar issue started when their MPs attempted to throw sand in the eyes of Ghanaians. Because they knew, like Manasseh is saying, they knew the state of Afari. They knew where it was. They knew that when they came to power, it was 40% completed. They ought to know that when they came, they added 20%. And yet, they went to Afari, defied the security people there, military, made noise in an attempt to deceive Ghanaians. To what end? To what end?
Politics.
So if you are a politician, if you are a politician, and as I've said it here also, that in the words of Aristotle, the ends of politics ought to create virtuous men. And all of them have taken an oath, both MPs. And one of the critical oaths they take under constitution is to be faithful to Ghana. It means that you're going to be faithful to the ideals, the values of Ghana. And then you go and you try to take a step that ultimately is deceiving Ghanaians, especially when the issue at hand goes to the very heart of one of the biggest crises in this country. The crisis being the lack of medical infrastructure. To extent in this country, if you have a medical emergency, the likelihood that you pass is really high. And they do this. But you see, now let's take a step back. When you listen to Ken, when you listen to his issues, he mentioned, you know, when they were doing their campaign, the 10 cents of Ken. Mm-hmm. Now, their presidential campaign, as in the last presidential campaign, is one of the worst campaigns I've ever seen in my life. The MPP managed to turn a process, you understand, which is supposed or which is meant to choose a person who can become president, who can become the steward of the values and ideals of this country. They managed to turn this process into a sinners contest. Did you not hear the 10 cents of a sinners contest? 10 cents of Kennedy, Japan, 10 cents of Baumia. And when you go through the sense they were now placing on these people, they were all issues that we had raised, that the MPP had defended. Because one of the sins they claimed Baumia had done was the Sunlight Rice issue. You recall the Sunlight Rice issue?
Someone from his office was prosecuted.
Yeah, and so we said Sanla, that Baumia has used Sunlight Rice, and they came and they denied it. And yet, when it became convenient in their internal politics process, they said Baumia, the Sunlight Rice that we accused Baumia that they defended, Baumia actually did it. Anderson, in the case of Ken, you recall that sometime 2014, I can't recall the year, but not in Kantamanto, there was an issue where some thugs allegedly attacked Osler, which triggered Ken to make that unpardonable statement that if you are an account,
the ethnocentric comment.
Yeah, and it's unpardonable. Because when you go to the directive principles of state policy, one of the fundamental obligations people, Ghanaians, placed on government, that do all in your power, understand, to forge a Ghana where we whittle down on our ethnic, because central to this country, and the problem all Africa has faced, because we were put together. You understand? We were put together. So if you are president, one of your fundamental duties is to ensure that unity is strengthened. So when somebody who says he's a politician makes a statement, that really is he placing a dagger at the heart of that agenda to create that one Ghana. And you find Ghanaians where we've attempted to call into order, bringing Accra to a standstill.
I covered that day.
You understand? This unpardonable sin on Ghana.
The Cocoa Affairs Courts.
And so they defended it. And then when it became convenient for them, they said, no, it is one of your sins. You also recall in the case of Brian Champon.
Wrap up for me.
I'm coming. In the case of Brian Champon, that in the last election, one of the biggest issues was when Brian Champon took a step which really was adverse to the obligation on people in government not to place themselves in a position of conflict of interest, which is one of the very critical governance issues that we ought to promote. And they defended it. And yet,
I mean the hotels,
yes,
hotels.
and yet when they had their internal politics, they said, oh, that's one of the sins of Brian Champon. What does this represent? This clearly shows these are a group of people who have no regard for values and principles. And so when today Ken is peeved and he's angry, he's telling us Ghanaians that don't consider this party. Why? Because they don't have principle, they don't have value. That indeed, God has given them up to reprobate mind. And so it's for us as Ghanaians to ask ourselves questions. Because we are the sovereign. And every 4-year cycle, we take a decision. So if these people who are reprobate, who don't value Ghana, who have no regard for values and principle, come and tell you that we are sponsoring this person, should you take them seriously?
Very well.
Should you take them seriously? So, you see, thank God we have time. And time throws light on everything. I said this last year, I'm saying this again, I'm repeating this statement. I said that the MPP was unpatriotic and Richard Ahanyaba had issues with it. Now, Richard, I'm going to say something even more serious. Your party is a reprobate party. And I can bet you that over time, you will show your true character to Ghanaians. And the onus will be on us Ghanaians to decide whether or not we ought to take anybody or anything your party sponsors seriously.
Thank you so much, Andy. I'll come back so that I'll come back and hear from the rest of my panel before we take. But I have a quick break. I'll return to hear from my member of parliament in studio and two other guests.
In a world filled with confusion and comparison, God's Word reveals your true identity. This week on Lifeline, with Bishop Fred Kranche-Mensah, we discover who God says you are and learn to see yourself through His eyes.
Welcome to Lifeline. This is more than a program, it is a line to your life. We are looking at a common challenge in life. We call it identity crisis. You come to accept and believe in your identity through these three things. Number one, what you believe about yourself, your internal dialogues, what you say to yourself. The same way when God created you, He added a manual to His creation, and that is the Bible. Building a robust identity, let's go back to the Word of God.
Lifeline airs every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. prompt, only on ChannelOne TV.
Yeah, welcome back. This is a big issue on 97.3 CTFM on Channel 1 television. Honorable the Richard Ahanyaba says that Ken Japan has engaged in anti-party behavior. He cannot tell me what the sanctions could be, but clearly Ken is a problem for MPP. He has admitted that. I'm giving you 5 minutes.
Well,
please look at your time.
Yes. So I'm not too sure what the anti-party behavior is because of what? What did he do? But
he threatened the party.
Read my lips.
He threatened the party.
He said he will expose them in June, July.
He said in June, July. Why wait for what he will come up with? Because the content, because when you take him to the disciplinary committee, what will you, charge him with? What did he say? Because it is a charge. He needs to, if it's a disciplinary committee, he needs to go through a process where everything he said will be, taken through the full rigors of whatever laws they are. So for me, it's premature. I thought that Richard, as smart as he is, would have avoided where you pushed him to. Yes, because you see, it's a political party and you need to be very, very careful. For all you know, yes, I've heard petitions, you shouldn't even be the one to say it. For all you know, some discussions are also ongoing too, because I am aware that and I think you are also aware that they were making moves to get him fully on board. You know Ken, and I would not sit here and then, because he said things against my party and members of my party too, so I would not be here and then say that whatever he says is gospel, because that would amount to, and so for me, it's their own, child, which they have brought forth. At the end of the day, whatever he does, well, it's up to them. Like he eloquently put it. There's a man who said all kinds of things, and you applauded him. You understand? And you even stood when he was being charged and all that. I mean, his days, I don't want to recount because I don't have time. So he's done his bit. When they went for the elections, whatever they did to him, maybe he's peeved, he's saying all these things. But if he actually has things done, adverse things done to the state, and he knows about it, in fact, I can't wait till that date. I want to hear.
You don't think he should report to the police?
No, I mean, he chooses his forum.
It's that a crime. If you know of a crime,
he chooses his forum. Has he told you he's coming to report a crime?
Yeah, he said that the kickbacks that they said his wife, they give his wife.
He's not a lawyer. He doesn't know. He may talk about kickback without knowing it's a crime. So you let him say it. You, the lawyer, would make those. Let him say whatever he wants to say. We want to hear what he wants to say. No, when it gets your turn, talk about. But you see, so for me, I don't see any anti-party conduct for now.
Okay.
He said things. He said nothing. But you can't even stop him. Why? You want to stop him from
own media
absolutely?
House.
That's not even the point. He has a right to speak. Why? Who can ever stop him from speaking?
But someone was blinking their eyes that he should not speak.
But he said he will speak the truth. It's Ghana. Yes, so he should continue and expose what he knows about. But my time is what? Oh, but you just give me. You see, Manasseh spoke about the Afari. Look, it is a day of shame for MPP. This particular day, whatever we are discussing, it's a shame for them. It is a fact, and I don't know who ever said the entire project had 90% completion. No, I never heard that.
98. Yeah,
we spoke to the architecture and the design and all that, the structure itself. That is what we said it's average 90%. The civil works. Of course, we know some installations had to be done, of course. And that is why we are blaming the MPP for it. This delay, it is not true that they've made a fresh claim to the John Mahama administration, the contractor. No, all those claims are claims before we inherited power. Okay, and so those claims, legitimate or not, is another matter. But the delayance is as a result of that, and that is why I'm sure Ken is speaking the way he's speaking. You don't do this and put in over $400 million in Agenda 111 or whatever. When you knew what was the cause of the delay, couldn't the MPP have, if you really regard the region that gives you the highest vote? And this had been done, even if you call the structure. Of course, you need to put the structure before there. And between the delay before 2014 could be spoken about. But the actual construction started in 2014. And between 2014 and 2016, if we've been able to 90% complete the structure, it tells you the main motive of President Mahama in making sure this thing works. But if you come, and within 8 years, we are not talking about a year or two, within 8 years, you come and tell us that there were issues. But you could commit 400 million to some contractors who had even taken mobilization and bolted. All in the name of the same facility or similar facilities and leave Afari the way. And then we are sitting at somewhere. Then you take cutlasses and then you go to the place that you are going to clear them because the place, you didn't know about these claims before you went. Did you speak to? So if you have members of parliament, Dr. Ayuefi, who should know better, respectfully, do this gimmick, media, just for the optics. Whom are you deceiving? Whom are you deceiving?
Thank you, Honorable Senor.
You know,
or you are frustrated.
I'm very sad about the NPP. Look, it's a party I have a lot of respect for. We're student leaders, and we looked up to a lot of those who anchored what they did, and who anchored its value. So I don't understand. Because it's supposed to be a group of very intellectual people exposed, Your advocacy must be very well structured, relatively well thought through. Look, in the Parliament of 1996, you know, they were such, that is a proper mighty minority, not what we have now, let's face it. You want to listen to the arguments, how cogent it is, how factual it's based. You know, there are biases, but look, that's the parliament you want to talk to. If it's parliamentarians raising this, it is sad. As a result of our COVID work, building the hospitals, the GIDC, in record time, in 100 days, we did a 100-bed hospital. All right. I thank Nana Akufo-Addo. He gave me and my colleagues the opportunity to do it. And he ended up even honoring me with the Order of the Volta, the highest for civilians. And Mr. President, as much as I have disagreements with you, I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve my country. We were going to do something like that in Kumasi. We went to that fiery place, and we quickly realized it didn't make sense. We had a critical asset that had to be fixed. The project started in 2014. Mama left in 2016. So if you come and you admit that it was about 40% even covered.
Just 2 years.
Just that. My brother, how do we explain 60% after 8 years?
You know that makes sense.
You understand? It can't make sense.
Okay.
You know, our constitution is very, very clear. Article 35(7). It says, as far as practicable, a government shall continue and execute projects and programs commenced by the previous government. This continuity clause is one for national development, one that should steer developmental duty on the part of our duty bearers. Afari Hospital was not just another hospital to mark some register. No. A 500-bed hospital, which was supposed to relieve CAT, Konfanoche, the Kumasi people call it G, about 1,200 beds, which is overstretched. It is overburdened. What is the reason they said they were going to stop there? Because they can't. Afari was supposed to be the relief for it. CAT serves about 50% of our population. This is an MPP stronghold.
Okay.
Look, my brother, I beg you.
You know, my time is up. Akbe.
Oh, I beg, it's not. Let me finish.
No,
I beg you, give me 3 months.
No, you see, this is corruption. You taking my time without
but it's left with 6 minutes.
No, my time is up.
Let me do my 30 seconds.
Senor, this is corruption. You are corrupting.
I mean, offered you anything.
If I allow him, Adam will
unless you say it's abuse of brotherhood,
it's
of my
abuse.
big brotherhood. That one. All this one, I finished what I said.
Let me talk to. They say my director said I have 60 seconds. Mr. Senano. They said that it is because of corruption, kickbacks, and things that these things never get.
But the person who said it, he's supposed to be someone who wants to be president of this country. So if you are aware of a crime and you're not willing to report, disclose it, what values do you have? Are you competent? Are you, in fact, read my lips, honorable credible and speaking the truth according to the facts from what is his name? You have lied.
Senor, you have been disrupted.
Senor, you have been disrupted. The 98% too, you are lying.
Mr. Senano.
That what? That didn't do anything.
Yet defender of the Senor and Senor. Mr. Senano.
I think
yes, Mr. Senano.
I find
read my lips.
I find the accusation intriguing. I find it intriguing because
the party has no values.
I'm not clear in my mind what is being defined as anti-party behavior. Indeed, when we look at the facts, as Manasseh has demonstrated, there's nothing to show that even the 98% he's saying was achieved, and therefore this man should not be saying this. It's true. And to that extent, therefore, you're wondering, is this intolerance or what it is? I think sitting here this morning, the thing that strikes me is that we probably need a political party accountability and integrity index. What I'm saying is this. Today we are talking about what the MPP is saying and what is going on. But the truth is, how do we ensure that core values are demonstrated throughout the value chain to the extent that the aspirations of the people of this nation is what is at the forefront, is what is being defended, is what is being upheld. And if we don't begin to put the magnifying glass historically on what these parties have chosen to do in different circumstances, they say, you know what, you are not deceiving us. You think you're deceiving us, but you're not. And to that extent, use that as a factor in deciding who do we elect into government? Whether at the corporate level or individual level, who will fail this country? I think we should put the magnifying glass on the political parties and the values that they are promoting, because it is possible that they are undermining all of us.
They must have values first.
Well, that's it for the big issue this week on Channel One Television and on 97.3 City FM. I had in studio General Bernard Bediako MP Akwetia, Senyo Hosi Convener, One Ghana Movement, and Rapia Dankwa, Head of Legal United Party. Richard Ahiangba joined us via Zoom. He's Director of Communications MVP. Adam Senano, Co-Chair of the Citizen Movement Against Corruption. Manasseh Azuri Awuni, Investigative Journalist. And this has been the big issue. Most grateful for joining us.
Get ready this July to step into a world where culture meets commerce, ideas turn into opportunities, and Made in Ghana takes the spotlight like never before. Welcome to the Northern Business Fair 2026. For 2 powerful days, the Jubilee Park will transform into a buzzing hub of creativity, innovation, and enterprise from the Savannah, Northern, Northeast, Upper East, and Upper West regions. From beautifully crafted products, innovative packaging, fast-growing local brands, and indigenous corporate bodies, every stand will tell a story of passion, resilience, and growth. This is not just a fair, it's a full experience. It's a place to discover, a place to connect, a place to grow. This is your chance to engage with Ghana's most exciting SMEs. Secure your spot. Don't sit on the sidelines. Be part of the energy. Be part of the story. The Northern Business Fair 2026 is powered by Channel One TV with support from City FM, and it's proudly sponsored by EcoBank, the National Petroleum Authority, and the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. In a world filled with confusion and comparison, God's Word reveals your true identity. This week on Lifeline with Bishop Fred Kranche-Mensah, we discover who God says you are and learn to see yourself through His eyes.
Welcome to Lifeline. This is more than a program, it is a line to your life. We are looking at a common challenge in life. We call it identity crisis. You come to accept and believe in your identity through these 3 things. Number 1, what you believe about yourself, your internal dialogues, what you say to yourself. The same way when God created you, He added a manual to His creation, and that is the Bible. Building a robust identity, let's go back to the Word of God.
Lifeline airs every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. prompt, only on Channel One TV.
Wonder Space Explorers. Today we're going on a wild adventure.
The place you want to discover, there's so much to uncover. Are you an explorer? Yes! Then join us on an adventure. All you need to do is look closely, think carefully, solve many problems. Wait, that's not all. We are the Wonder Space Explorers. We create things big or small and beautiful. We are WONDERFUL. We're wonderful. La 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 la. Wonder Space.
Can you guess where we're going today? It's a place where you can get up close with animals from all over the world. Where could we possibly be going? I'll give you another clue. Today, we're going to become animal detectives. Because on our adventure, I want you to carefully observe the animals we see. Explorers, are you ready? Let's go!
Hello, Wonder Space Explorers. Can you guess where we are? We are at the Safari Eco Park. And guess what? We have some explorers who are going to help us on this adventure. Do you know where they are? Come and help me find them. Let's go!
Hello, Wonder Space Explorers! Hello! Are you ready for our animal adventure?
Yes!
What animals do you think we're going to see?
Wildebeest!
Wildebeest?
Zebra. I think we're gonna see zebras.
Zebras? Okay.
Meerkat.
Meerkats? Awesome! Before we go, we have some important things to talk about. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about two big words. Habitats and adaptations. So the habitat is like the home of animals. They have food, they have shelter, and water as well, right? Okay, so when we say adaptation, we're talking about the body parts or special features of the animal. So I want you to look closely at all the animals and try and find different body parts, okay? Different colors. What else can we spot in the animals? The habitats where they live. Some may be in the water and some may be in the
land.
On land. Awesome. Okay, explorers, let's go and meet our guide. She's going to tell us everything about the park. Okay, let's go and meet her.
Hi, Wonder Space Explorers.
Hi.
My name is Esther. You're welcome to Safari Eco Park. Are you ready to see some animals?
Yeah.
Okay, come with me, We are starting.
Explorers, this is the exciting part. We're going to see some real animals. If you listen carefully, can you hear something?
No.
What do you hear?
I hear a parrot.
A parrot? Okay, let's go and see. Let's ask Miss Esther what we're going to see next.
So we are entering into the first park. The first park is basically birds. You see different species of birds like the parrots, the Brahma, the silky, the budgies. You see all kinds of birds. They'll come on your hand, you feed them from your hand.
Are you ready to have the birds land on you?
Let's go.
All right, explorers, let's see what we will find here.
Whoa!
Good morning.
Morning.
You're welcome to Park 1. I'm Lillian.
Okay, so we're in Park 1. What do you guys see immediately?
A big bird.
A big bird.
An emu.
What's it called?
An
Emu.
An emu.
Yes.
Let's
From
take a
Australia.
closer look at the emu.
They are the second largest flightless birds after the ostrich. They lay emerald green eggs. About 10 times the size of the regular chicken
Do
egg.
you guys know the size of a normal chicken egg?
Yes.
Show me. How big is a normal egg? No, a normal egg like this?
Yes.
And then she said it's 10 times that size. So let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a huge egg. Who can remember the name of this bird?
Emu.
Excellent.
I can hear its tummy.
Ooh, it makes a weird sound.
What is that?
That's a silky chicken from China.
A silky chicken? What does that mean?
They have silk and fluffy feathers, hence the name silky. So they have black eyes, black tongue, black meat and bones, and 10 toes. Every chicken has 8.
They have 10 toes? Ooh. Any other interesting birds you see?
Those ones with red eyes.
The ones with red eyes?
Those are demoiselle cranes from Mongolia.
Wow. So we had China and then what did she just say?
Mongolia.
Mongolia.
They are monogamous birds, so they stick to a spouse for life. And they're also migratory birds. They're able to fly long distances from Mongolia to India.
Wow.
And even the northern part of Africa to breed.
Okay,
Yes.
you used a big word. You said migrate.
Right.
What does that mean? Does anyone know what it means or should we ask?
To fly to another place.
Right. High five! Super! Yay!
These birds look different.
Yes, they are called rheas. And rheas are the third largest flightless birds after the emu and ostrich.
And what do they eat?
They feed on corn, millet, wheat, bran, and then soya beans. Before we go in there, you need to keep your voices low. You know, the birds will get startled. Also, you watch your steps so you don't step on them. And you don't pour the feed on the floor.
Ooh. Did you hear all those instructions?
Yeah.
What did Miss Lillian say?
She said that we should watch our steps.
Watch your steps so you don't
keep quiet.
Okay, so you should talk with a low voice, your inside voice.
And don't spill the food.
And don't spill the food on the floor. Excellent listening. Let's go into the microphone. Wow! Explorers, can you see all these birds? There's so many colors. Orange, yellow, green, blue. Wow! Miss Lillian, what kind of birds are these?
The colorful one here is a sun conure from South America.
Which one?
This one.
This one here.
Yeah.
Wow!
And these are lovebirds.
Lovebirds!
Spread across Africa and then Madagascar.
Madagascar.
And Africa.
And Africa?
And the smaller ones with the stripes are budgies from Australia.
Budgies from Australia? There's
Yeah.
so many colors and so many types.
There are different species of parrots and can mimic human words when trained.
Okay, so these are all species of parrots?
Yes.
Wow! What name is it again? Emu. And it has really long legs. Let's ask Miss Lillian why.
Why does it have long legs?
They are very fast runners. They are able to run up to 45 kilometers per hour.
That's really fast. So you know we talked about adaptation. So this bird has learned to run really, really fast. Let's run really, really fast. Oh, the boat is shaking.
What are those things birds over there?
Yeah, what are those?
They are called a scarlet ibis.
Scarlet ibis. Can you say it too?
Scarlet ibis.
They get their coloration from what they feed on. They eat crustaceans like crabs, shrimps, and lobsters.
Wow!
And because they contain carotene or carotenoid pigment, it gives them this color. If you give them food that do not contain crabs, shrimps, or lobsters, their feathers are going to fade. Which other bird is similar to this?
Yeah, what bird? It reminds you of a flamingo. Excellent. Okay, guys, there's something different about this habitat that we are seeing. What are you seeing? Water. So we have some.
There are some fishes in there that the birds feed on. For instance, the white birds, they're called the African spoonbills.
Can you see the spoonbills?
Who knows why they are called spoonbills?
Yes.
Right.
All right. So this adaptation is like a what? A spoon.
They feed on the fishes. They are carnivorous, so they feed on fishes, aquatic animals. Those are cranes. We have the Japanese crane, which is the black and white one, and the one with the long neck is a Sarus crane. That's the tallest flying bird in the world.
It flies?
Yes.
That is amazing. Okay, so Miss Lillian, you said a key word. You said carnivores.
Yes.
Okay, so we have herbivores and we have carnivores.
And omnivorous.
And
the cranes are omnivorous. Yes.
Okay, so which of these animals are herbivores and which ones are carnivores that we've seen so far?
The herbivores are the ducks.
Okay.
And the swan is actually a vegetarian, so it's also a herbivore.
Okay. Who knows what herbivores are?
They eat plants.
What about carnivores?
They eat meat.
Meat. And what about omnivores?
They eat both.
Okay, so as we are seeing the different animals, let's think about what they eat. Explorers, what do we see behind us? Zebras! Let's ask Mr. Musa about the zebras.
Hello, explorers. So here we have our plain zebras. So we see they are plain because you find them in the open plains. And the zebra is the national animal for Botswana. They have unique black and white stripes, just like fingerprints. Every zebra has its own unique black and white stripe.
Can you guys show me your finger? We all have unique fingerprints.
No, thumb.
Okay. And so zebras have their own unique stripes. So this zebra has a different stripe from
That.
this zebra.
So that's a mother and a son.
Oh, okay. And what kind of habitat do they usually live
They
in?
prefer the open savanna areas.
Okay, can we say savanna?
Savannah.
Or the grassland.
Or the grassland. Okay. So then what do you think they eat?
Grass.
Is that correct?
Correct. Excellent.
Fresh grass. So what do we get to do now?
Feed them.
Yay! And what are we going to feed them?
Grass.
Let's feed them.
So who is going first? So we start from here.
Explorers, what do we have over there? Mr. Musa, is that right?
Yeah, so that's wildebeest. And the wildebeest look very much like the buffalo. So they're also known as the poor man's buffalo. Just that the buffalo is a big animal. And if you've seen the Lion King, you have them kill Mufasa. So they run him over in the valley in there. And they can run very, very fast. They can run up to 80 kilometers per hour.
80 kilometers per hour. That is really fast.
That's very, very, very fast.
Does anyone know an interesting fact about the wildebeest?
Yes.
Okay. Angela?
That when their babies are born, they can run 80 kilometers per hour.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's a baby that is about 3 days old.
Wow, can you see the baby?
Yes.
Amazing. Who else knows an interesting fact?
I heard that whenever the sun lights back on them, then they will become blue.
When the sun hits them, they become blue? Wow. And then, yes?
They have long beards.
They have long beards.
That's true.
Yes.
And they have long...
And their horns are crowned.
They have twisted horns. Excellent. Great job, guys. High five.
What are those over there?
So there we have the inyales. So inyales are antelopes, and these are medium-sized antelopes found only in southern and eastern Africa. So they are born reddish brown with white stripes. As they age, the male gets to adolescence, he starts to change color. So the male will grow blacker, he'll grow twice the size of the female, and you have very long spiral horns. So that's the male there.
Miss Kezia, what's this interesting animal here? Is this a meerkat?
That's an alpaca. You done so
Okay, well done. It's an alpaca.
Yes, and alpacas are camelids. They're in the same group where you have camels, llamas as well. So a lot of times people mistaken them for llamas rather than alpacas.
Who thought it was a llama as well? Me.
I thought it was a llama.
You thought it was a llama? Me too. I almost thought it was a llama, but it's what's the real name? Alpaca. All right, explorers. Who knows an interesting fact about alpacas?
Me.
Okay.
They like spitting.
They do like spitting.
Is that correct, Miss Kezia?
Yes, they do. Once they're upset or they're agitated, they will spit at you.
Okay, so when they're agitated or angry, they spit. Who is ready to feed the alpaca?
Me.
Woo! Okay. I can do it. Oh wow! The two of them are eating. Ah! Okay, explorers, what's the weather temperature like right now?
Hot.
It's hot. Okay, what do you notice about their fur?
It's orange.
Okay, what else?
Brown and white.
Okay, what about the thickness of it?
It's soft.
It's
and
soft
warm.
and furry. Okay, so how do you think they are feeling?
Hot.
What?
Extreme.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ms. Keita, can you tell us about the fur and where they're from?
Okay, so usually these have a thicker coat, right? So this has been shaved off. This is them bare.
They
right?
shaved the alpaca.
And that's to help them cool off. So when it's too hot, it gets extremely unbearable for them. So we have ponds that they can go lay in, but then from time to time we do shave the hair off. So it's much colder where they are from, right? They are natives to South America. So Argentina, Chile, Peru, you'd find them there. But here it's a bit hot than what they are used to.
Okay, so the natural habitat of the alpacas is usually what? Cold. But then in Ghana it is hot. So their habitat has changed a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
What is that?
That's a common eland.
Common eland.
And it's an antelope.
It's an antelope?
So usually people just broadly call every animal antelope, but there are several species within the antelope group. Kind of like how we have birds, and then there are different species of birds.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the common eland, and it's the second largest antelope on land.
It's the second largest antelope on land.
So the first one is actually related to it, the giant eland. There are two types of eland: the common eland, which is what we are seeing today, and the giant eland.
Okay, so should we feed it some more leaves?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Explorers,
cute.
what are these?
Come on.
Meerkats. What are you feeding them? Chicken. These animals are known as omnivores. Can you say omnivores?
Omnivores.
Because they eat insects, chicken, but they also eat plants. Okay, so where do you notice the meerkats going? Where do they go?
In their burrow.
Okay, so they burrow underground, right?
Yes.
But then there's one that's standing on top of the rocks. What's he doing?
Guarding.
He's guarding. You guys are so smart. Can we all point to the meerkat that's guarding?
Yes.
There.
He's digging.
Ooh. I wonder what he's digging for. Maybe insects? They eat insects.
Maybe the ring.
They eat slugs? Oh, fun facts. Explorers, what do we say to our wonderful park managers?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just so that we make them happy, what are some interesting facts that we've learned today? Yes, Kweku?
I learned that zebras have to remember their mom's stripe.
Okay, they have to remember their mom's stripes. Excellent. Yes, Katache? What fact do you remember?
I knew that the meerkats like to eat insects.
Okay, the meerkats like to eat insects. Excellent. Excellent for yours. And Joelle, an interesting fact you learned today?
I learned that when the sunlight hits the blue wildebeest, their skin will turn blue.
Okay, so when the sun hits the wildebeest, they have a blue shimmer. Excellent. Kuko, are you ready? Yes. What do you want to share?
Alpaca.
The alpaca. Was that your favorite one? Awesome. What do you remember about the alpaca?
Can spit.
It can spit. High five. Awesome. Bye. Explorers, what an incredible adventure we had at Safari Eco Park. We saw animals from other parts of Africa, Asia, Australia, and many other places too. And before we started our adventure, we learned two very important science words. Who remembers them? Yes! Habitat and adaptation. A habitat is the home or environment where an animal lives. An adaptation is a special feature or behavior that helps an animal survive. Today we saw many amazing examples of both. Let's start with habitats. Can you remember some of the habitats we spotted today? Excellent. We saw aquatic or water birds living near the pond. The pond is a water-based habitat. We also saw parrots in the aviary. Many birds live in trees because trees provide shelter and safety. And what about the zebras? That's right, zebras usually live in grasslands. Different animals need different habitats to survive. Now, let's talk about adaptations. Who remembers the giant bird we saw first? Exactly, the emu. Emus cannot fly, but they have very strong legs that help them run quickly. That is an adaptation. We also saw parrots with different kinds of beaks. Some beaks help birds crack seeds, while others help them eat fruits or insects. Animals have different body parts depending on what they need to survive. Now, explorers, who remembers the bright pink bird near the pond? The scarlet ibis. Some of us almost thought it was a flamingo. And honestly, I can understand why. But here's the amazing part. The scarlet ibis gets its bright pink color from the food it eats. Isn't nature incredible?
And then came one of the most exciting moments of our adventure. The zebras! Our 4 explorers were brave and curious. Who remembers the special fact we learned about zebra stripes? Yes! Every zebra has unique stripes, just like humans have unique fingerprints. And one of our explorers shared another amazing fact. Baby zebras can recognize their mothers by their stripe patterns. Wow! That means zebra stripes are not just beautiful, they're also a very important adaptation. We also spotted a group of wildebeest and nyala from southern Africa. Some animals have horns for protection. Some have colors that help them blend into the environment. And some animals have thick fur to keep them warm. Remember the alpaca? Alpacas usually live in cooler places than Ghana. So the park helps them stay comfortable by trimming some of their thick fur because Ghana's weather is much warmer. That shows us how important habitats and climate are for animals. Now let's test your animal food knowledge. Can you remember these 3 words? Herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore. A herbivore eats plants. Can you name a herbivore we saw today? Yes, the zebra. Great job. And what about an omnivore? That's right, the meerkat. Excellent! Meerkats eat insects, small reptiles, roots, and even some fruits. And apparently, they also enjoy chicken pieces. Meerkats are fascinating animals. They live in underground burrows and they take turns guarding their home while others search for food. That's amazing teamwork. Wonder Space Explorers, it's time for our art activity. Our 4 explorers love the zebras, so we're going to make our very own zebra face mask. For this activity, you're going to need some card paper, ideally white card paper, some paint brushes, and paint or crayons or color pencils, a pencil, scissors, or an X-Acto knife. You need an adult to help you with this, some glue, and some elastic. So to make it easier, you can print a template from online. You can ask an adult to help you with that, and then you can trace to make it easy. So first you can trace the face. Okay, once that's done, you can go ahead and cut out your shape. In the same way, you can trace and cut out some ears. And then the mane. When you're happy with your shapes, go ahead and start your patterns, your stripes. Once you've placed the position of your stripes, you can start to have fun, the painting or the coloring. Now the main colors you'll need are, that's right, black and a little bit of pink.
All right, Wonder Space Explorers, once you're happy with your face, ears, and mane, it's time to do some sticking. Let's stick on the ears, shall we? Alright, Wonder Space Explorers, we're almost there. I hope you remember to cut out the eyes and nostrils. Now we're going to make a hole for our elastic bands. You can use a hole puncher or some scissors. Alright, so go ahead and tie your elastic. Alright, Wonder Space Explorers, and there you have your simple face masks with simple shapes and cutouts. Yay! 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 Wonder Space Explorers, you've been amazing animal detectives. And I want to say a special thank you to my 4 explorers. You were so brave and so wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I always say at the end of our lessons, Wonder Space Explorers are wonderful. You are wonderful. See you next time. Bye.
So many problems. Wait, that's not all. We are the Wonder Space Explorers. We create things big or small.
Ghana is built on stories. The dreams we chase, the challenges we face, and the change we demand. At ChannelOne TV, we bring these stories to light. With truth, fairness, and courage. We listen, we question, we amplify. Because when your story is told, change begins. ChannelOne TV.
Right, it's match day for the United States of America. They take on Australia later today. Welcome. This is World Cup Central on ChannelOne TV. I'm Gabriel Fair. Show is very interactive. We've been up to the USA's game against the Socceroos of Australia, and then we'll look ahead to the teams, or one team that has already qualified to the round of 32. That's Mexico, one of the co-host nation of this year's World Cup. It's all live here on ChannelOne TV. We're taking a very quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest and then we get into the conversation.
Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show here on Channel One Television. On The Point of View, we pick the right topics, get the right guests, and ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you.
With the complexities of the issues happening around us on a daily basis, it's the hard-hitting conversations and the probing questions of The Point of View.
So what is the Public Account Committee's job?
So what we do is to scrutinize, clarify, and find out why certain infractions have been made.
What do these IMF programs try to do?
The current program is for budget support.
Okay.
There are no projects attached.
That teases apart the twisted entanglements of politics and governance, as well as religious and social discourse. The Point of View brings you the policymakers and duty bearers and drills down to the very bottom of issue.
What authority do you have?
The Point of View airs every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Channel One TV.
All right, welcome back from the break. This is World Cup Central on Channel One TV. I'm Gabi Ofe, your host for today. We'll be getting into what's on the table today. Mexico making progression to the round of 32 of the 2026 World Cup. They beat South Korea by 1-0, all thanks to Luis Romo getting the 3 point for Javier Aguirre's side, and that made sure that they progressed to the round of 32. But later, the USA will be taking on Australia, and then the rest of the games would follow as and when the World Cup matches are making progression. Let me introduce my guest. I've got Bernardo Beku-Ochre and also Yao Ejimintah, my two guys, to get into the conversation. Guys, as always, welcome again to the show. Another episode is here.
Yeah. Great to be here.
Well, let's start the conversation by talking about Mexico. Yesterday they were in action at the Estadio Akron, or the Guadalajara Stadium. They beat South Korea by 1-0, all thanks to Luis Romo. It was a big record for Luis Romo because he plays for CD Guadalajara. And very interesting story about that, because CD Guadalajara also play at that same venue that saw Mexico beating South Korea by 1-0. But quick thoughts, initial thoughts on Mexico making it to the next stage.
You know, it paints the picture that we've been, or it tells proper the story we've been echoing here for a minute, that give the local boys a chance, let them play the national team, and let us see if they are patriotic enough. Let us see if they love the country enough to give it their all. That's what Mexico is doing, giving a lot of players in their own region an opportunity to represent the team, and by extension, in their league, allowing, like the stat you're going through, allowing homegrown players to play their league and have a little quota for foreign players. That sounds sitting well, because then they have a vision, they've got a plan. They're a city that hosted the World Cup before.
Yeah.
So hosting this World Cup is like a real party, and you need to come out loud and do it. And what a way to do with Luis Romo, being a homegrown player and doing this makes it, sums up beautifully. I feel in terms of possession in this World Cup, it really does not hold, does it? Because it's not about how beautiful you play, it's about getting your shot on target.
Because the South Koreans played all the football.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mexico didn't play in the corner.
But the goal how the goal came about on the part of Mexico. So it was a cross from Julian Quinones. He was looking to find Raul Jimenez. The goalkeeper comes out to parry the ball, and then he clatters into his own defender and leaves the ball.
Yeah.
So he misses it, and the Romo is there on time
to
pounce on that mistake and capitalize. And you see the goalkeeper, he was livid.
Yeah, because if you're a goalkeeper, it's said that when you get out of your area, anticipation should be excellent. You should have the full ball, you should have a grasp of the ball. So you cannot come out and not be able to get hold on the ball. So I'm sure he's disappointed himself because you are the first and last man in defense. You need that organization, you know, going up front. You are the first man in defense who commands the entire defensive block. When there's an offensive threat, you are the last man in defense to put the defense again on their toes.
Yeah.
So to miss out on that and miss out on the ball, I think it all sums up his reaction or the kind of expression we saw on his face. So for me, this how champions. I wouldn't want to put champions. Maybe this is how a host nation should play.
Yeah.
If you are not entertaining your fans with the ball, you should be able to pounce on the opponent's error and then get that all important 3 points for them. It makes it a real party, isn't it? Because you become the first team that has booked your ticket to the next phase of the competition.
Well, expected that Mexico were always going to progress from that group. Because I remember your submission early on. You tipped Mexico and South Korea to progress out of Group A. But yesterday, Czechia also held South Africa to a 1-0 draw. So it means that those two teams still have a chance of progressing. Your thoughts on Mexico's progression?
Yes, no surprising there. They've always been a solid side and good enough to progress out of the group stage of the World Cup. And it so happens that because of the region that they find themselves in, or the configuration that they find themselves in, they end up always having a higher seed. And so they end up in good groups like this one. So Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, Czech. They always end up in such groups because of their seeding, because of the ranking. So, for instance, Ghana got a tough group and ended up in the last group, more or less, because Ghana ranked low. And so, in that sense, Ghana will always be in tough groups. So, you look at the 2006 World Cup, we played against Italy, we played against USA and the Czech Republic, now Czechia. Then all three teams were ranked in the top 15. Then you look at 2014, we're up against Portugal, we're up against South Korea, we're up against the USA. All of them were top ranked teams. 2002, the same thing. South Korea, Portugal, and Uruguay. So you look at that and you can tell that, oh yes indeed, Ghana's chances of having or landing an quote-unquote easier group are very low. But when it comes to Mexico, they are quite high. And in this group,
so the rankings help.
The rankings help. They do help. So in this group, I wouldn't say they are easy group. They are easy teams, or it's an easy group. But it's a group that is very winnable. In Ghana's case, it's very winnable for Mexico. In Ghana's case, where we landed, it's very difficult to win our group, realistically speaking. So it does matter. That's why I started my argument by pointing out Mexico's ranking and the configuration they play in, the effect it has on their ranking and how it impacts their chances of progressing from the group stages. So I had no doubt that they will progress from the group stage. And moving on, that's where there's a bit of an issue, where they just don't get beyond the quarterfinal, the round of 16. And that is what they are trying to break through. Now, I look at the whole group and I see a very competitive group, but I still tip South Korea to qualify, because though Czechia, they can end up getting 4 points in this particular group. But I look at the fact that South Korea will be playing against South Africa.
I was just about coming to that, and that would be a very difficult game.
South Africa and South Korea.
South Africa, because
but I would tip South Korea to win that game, because South Africa's key player Thibaut Mokoena, he won't play that game. He got a second yellow card. The first game against Mexico, he got yellow carded. The second game against Czechia yesterday, he got yellow carded, and so he will miss that particular game. And I look at what he brings to the table for South Africa: threat from set pieces, threat with his long range passing. And he being a goal scoring outlet from deep, he can really strike the ball from deep. I look at all those things and I don't see South Africa beating South Korea. It has nothing to do with xenophobic attacks. It's
pure football reasons.
Pure football reasons. I just don't see South Africa beating South Korea. So once that happens, Mexico could end up losing to Czechia.
Yeah.
And all three teams will qualify. As in
leaving South Africa out.
Yeah, leaving South Africa out because
the way the table is looking now, I think it favors Czechia more than South Africa in terms of the teams to pick the third best place.
Because there's a high possibility that Mexico would end up with 6 points. We already qualified. There's a high possibility South Korea also end up with 6 points. And then should Czechia beat Mexico, that would be 6-6-4.
Yeah.
And so all three teams very likely to qualify. So that's how I see the group shaping out.
Bernard, you hold a different view?
No, I don't hold no different view. I don't
see
South
Africa.
I don't see South Africa coming in strong at this level of the competition. The moment you recall Iran, when they had mishaps or when they had problems in their country, they were solving, and they were with the Black Stars coach to the World Cup. Those were the questions that was posed at presses. All the talk was about what was happening in the country and all of that, and you're asking the players what is happening in South Africa is sat in the minds of the players. That's why Ron would talk about it. That's the whole of Africa.
He admitted that it's taking a toll on the team.
So interestingly, there's something happening in the minds of the players, and I don't see where or which route they're able to use to come out of this because they've got a tougher opponent than again to play. It's going to make the whole thing clumsy for them. These guys press higher. They don't get tired with runs. I feel like Yao says, it's over. It's over.
It's over for South Africa.
Because they're going to concede again.
That would mean that for South Africa in their last 6 attempts or 7 attempts
at the World Cup,
they failed to progress out of the group stage, and that's a very, very bad record.
You got one of those moments where they had their the sports minister in the country questioned them even in the same World Cup they hosted. Their exploits because the team felt too comfortable and as a they felt, oh look, this home we are.
The 2010 World Cup, they didn't qualify as a group, right?
No, they didn't qualify.
So that's where the sports minister really,
I remember they drew the opening game with Mexico, and they lost to Uruguay.
Yeah. I think they lost the rest of the games. They drew, so it was just 1 point.
And he used negative descriptions for the boys then.
Interesting.
Called them names because he felt they had gone through proper training and what have you, and didn't pass through qualification process to get into the World Cup. So why are you fluffing it?
Well, we just say all the best to the teams in that group. So the next lineup of matches from Group A would be Mexico taking on Czechia, and then South Africa taking on South Korea in Group A. So what it means is that we've done about 27 to 28 matches from this year's World Cup, and also approximately 88 to 89 goals also scored from the 28 matches being played. More goals hopefully will come. But let's take it to Group B because Canada also beat Qatar by 6-0. Let me start off with you, Bernard. That's another very interesting group. And then Switzerland also took Bosnia to the cleaners for what? 0.
I love this group. It's about goals. World Cup is about goals, about that excitement that comes to bear for you as a fan. And Canada's coach is saying he doesn't think they're ever going to forget that scoreline.
Yes, exactly. Just a match. Qatar.
But
you should see one of the own goal, the 75th minute. You should see it was horrible. Just down to lack of quality in the team.
And Jonathan,
Canada were always going to take advantage of it. I mean, the goals, I don't know if you saw the goals, but the goals were questionable. But I mean, Canada took advantage
because
of the opponents.
Qatar suffered 2 red cards. They suffered 2 red cards, and one involved a bad tackle on Canada's Ismail Kone. That ended up breaking his leg. And so he's out of the World Cup. And that's what led to the first red card in the 53rd minute. And no, in the 33rd minute and the 53rd minute, the second red card also came through. And so, I mean, playing against nine players and knowing very well that Canada went into this game having the overall better quality team, especially in player profile and all. It made things a bit easier. And they did what you are supposed to do when there is a round of 32, or there's the format where the third best placed team
Yeah.
will be picked to qualify
Yeah.
To the next stage. Score as many goals as possible because
the goals would count.
The goals will count.
Yeah, it would matter when.
Yes,
I mean,
the goals will count
yeah.
because there's nothing like head-to-head when you are ranking the best third place teams across all the groups.
Yeah,
You are not going to play against a team that is in Group L.
Exactly.
So there's nothing like head-to-head.
Yeah.
It is
The
mainly
goals.
the goals.
Yeah.
It is
and then maybe
goals.
the disciplinary record too, so the yellow cards, the red
that will
cards
come in a
would
bit
also
later.
come in.
Yeah. If there's any head-to-head issue, it will be within the group.
Yeah.
So let's say Group L, where England, Ghana, Croatia, and Panama. You use the head-to-head bit to juggle those teams within the group.
Yeah.
But when it gets to the point where you have to rank the third best placed team, head-to-head goes out of the window because you didn't play against Mexico. If you are Ghana, you didn't play against Mexico.
Yeah.
So head-to-head gets nullified, and it will be about the goals.
Yeah.
Goal difference that's based on goals scored, goals conceded. Then we'll look at the disciplinary issues. So, yeah, Canada did good justice to it. A situation where they played 11 against 9 men for quite a solid number of minutes, and they did justice by scoring 6-0. So what that means is now they are more or less like 65% through.
Yeah.
Because of that goal advantage or that goal difference. Because already you have 4 points, and if you have 4 points, even before the conclusion of the round of games at the group stage, you stand a very good chance of progressing, especially when you have a goal difference of +6. Yeah, they put themselves in a very, very good position to qualify. But and this is the country that hasn't even won a World Cup game up until yesterday. And so imagine
it was their first World Cup.
Their first World Cup win. So
Yeah.
imagine what it has already done and what is likely to do if should they progress to the next round. That would be super, super good for and
that,
sorry for the Canadians.
Yeah.
Even if they get eliminated.
Once
they progress from the group,
they'll be good.
They'll be good because you haven't even won a game in the history of the World Cup.
Exactly.
Now you won a game and you're on the verge of qualifying to the next stage for the first time ever in your country's history at the World Cup. Yeah, they'll be more than fine, even if they get kicked out at the round of 32.
Yeah. So we know that 2 countries have hosted the World Cup and failed to progress out of the group. Canada avoided that record. They would have been the 3rd country. So talking about 2010, South Africa hosting and failing to qualify out of the group. And then Qatar themselves, the last edition in 2022, also failed to qualify. So Canada, more like in there. But Bernard, do the Switzerland-Bosnia for me. I was shocked with that scoreline because of Switzerland's opening results, right? That they had what? We played at 1-1.
They played at 1-1 with Qatar.
Finally, the quality in the team showed up.
Yeah. That's where I wanted to go. I mean, it's about the quality in that team. It's about who gets to play and who gets to play as a unit, as a group wanting to show off in this World Cup. I said it. Bosnia is a no-show for Switzerland, and it kept long. The goal kept long minutes before it came through. But I knew it was going to happen, before 90 because I mean you can't have all these names in your setup and come to a World Cup and not be able to finish it off well. Especially most second games of tournaments are important, especially if you didn't get a right point in the first, because in the first there's a bit of nervousness in there and everyone is trying to be cautious not to start badly or poorly. So I had a feel this second game was going to be it, and it was against Bosnia and Herzegovina. What are you waiting for? You need to be banging, bang, and you go in and relax. Allow the coach some time to try the other players so they also get minutes at this World Cup. Because mind you, every club that's contributed a player to this tourney is getting cash. So you need to let the player work.
All right, so Switzerland beating Bosnia by 4-1, and then Canada also trashing Qatar by 6-0. Let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, because people began to compare him. Not compare, but it was on the back of his rival Messi scoring a hat-trick against Algeria